Hello and welcome to the Boar's coverage of the 2026 SU Spring Officer Elections, where we're offering all candidates for full-time officer positions an interview with our team ahead of SU Big Decision Night this Friday. I'm Martin Day, Editor-in-Chief of the Boar, and today I'll be interviewing Stuart Rance, running for the position of SU Vice President VP of Sports in the upcoming elections. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. Our first question is quite a simple one. Why did you decide to run for this position?
Yeah, so as the president this year of the Society of Men's Cricket, I've been able to see more closely what Louis has done in his role as VP for Sports. So I've built a personal relationship with him over the last 2 years as well, being involved in the exec team. But getting to see through the president's group all the work he does and the passion he has for sports really inspired me. And looking at the current rebrand and all the projects going on throughout Team Warwick and Warwick Sport and the SU, it's something I really wanted to be a part of and help shape how students get to experience sport at the university, and just want to make the sporting experience better for everyone here.
You went into it a little there, but what is your experience with sports at Warwick in your time here?
So primarily for me, it's been playing cricket. It's my main sport. So I've been in the cricket setup for 3 years. I've been a first team cricketer for 3 years. And that's been amazing. I've loved all my time with the kind of community around cricket and everything there. I gave rugby a bit of a go in first year, kind of come to uni, try a new sport. I wasn't very good at it, but all the guys were so inviting, like, yeah, come down, get involved. Everyone was so lovely. And then also I've played a bit in the intramural league. So I've played intramural cricket in summer, which is great fun. I've played intramural football 11-a-side and intramural 5-a-side. So yeah, and they've all been brilliant as well.
Amazing. Now, a third question. Warwick Sport is currently undergoing a rebrand with potential mission statements, including Up the W and Beyond is where we belong, as well as a new uniform and potentially a new logo. Do you think this is a necessary change for Warwick Sport to make, and do you think it's something that Warwick students need? How will you continue to listen to the opinion of sports members while this process goes on?
Yeah, so to answer the first part, I think the rebrand is necessary for really improving the sporting experience. Where I think with the current branding, it's kind of reached a peak of where it can be, and to have kind of wider engagement and more involvement from the Central University, it needs this rebrand to align better with the Central University's branding, and like for them to repost anything, to them to get involved in anything, this rebrand was necessary. For me, I really like the Up the W. I think it's clean, simple, and I think they can do a lot with it. And in regards to listening to the community, I just think as the implementation comes through over the next few years, we just need to be very careful of not overwriting any sporting club's current brands. So one I think of is American football, who are the Wolves, and that's their branding. And if they get asked to remove that, it's almost like starting a new club from scratch and getting rid of the old one. So I think it's being able to align our values with the central universities, as well as keeping our own identities on the side as individual sports clubs, and making sure those individual sports clubs do still fit into the new total rebrand.
Continuing on that subject of sports clubs, how would you seek to support and improve their performances in both Bucks tournaments and in non-Bucks competitions in the year ahead?
I think there's a few ways to do it. So obviously everyone would love more money to get more coaching, more kind of better equipment, and greater access to like improve your sporting ability. But that's not the only thing I think that affects Bucks competitions. So obviously we are all student athletes. We all come here to study foremost and then play sport afterwards. So supporting students who are playing sport through their studies as well, I think is as important as supporting their actual athletic ability. So whether it's trying to keep lectures off Wednesday afternoons when people have sports so they don't have to worry about catching up on them, or where that isn't possible, helping them in any way I can kind of and to lessen the load of being worried about being behind in lectures or behind in their assignments or whatever. So helping students find a way to manage their studies better along with their sports as well.
Further on that subject of competitions, students are often unaware, not all students, but some students are unaware of when sports clubs are playing fixtures on campus, leading to, you might argue, quite low crowd turnout for sports fixtures. One Warwick program, for instance, last year drew crowds of only about 400 people over 2 terms. How would you want to ensure that Team Warwick isn't just something that only sports club members feel part of, but that Warwick students more widely could participate in?
Yeah, I think this goes along really well with the rebrand stuff. So that rebrand will allow the Central University to be more involved with sports, hopefully. So they will, well, we hope that they'll start posting stuff on their Central University site and kind of advertising sports clubs as more of like a, not like a separate side of the university, but as a part of the whole university. So whether that's publicising a fixture every week instead of, off the top of my head, I think we had maybe 3 or 4 One Warwick fixtures. I'm not sure if that's true, but just finding more ways to make it feel like, oh yeah, I want to go watch that, because especially with things like football, rugby, cricket, netball, hockey, and then obviously all the other sports as well. A lot of people who aren't involved in those sports clubs play those sports, and it's about getting people down and wanting to watch their team that represents their university, rather than just saying, oh yeah, there's a football club, but I didn't get in, or I didn't want to join it, so I'm not going to go watch their games and support them. Because as a cricket player, we only play in summer, so I try and go and watch a few sports throughout the year, and I've always really enjoyed it. So it's about getting people down to that first game, hoping they enjoy it, and then hoping they'll continue to come and watch more and more.
Thank you, Stuart. That was Stuart Rance, a candidate for Vice President VP Sports in the SU Spring elections this Friday.